Hi, Laura and Ariana. Thank you again for making the time to meet with us today. So as you both know, we've met with each of you separately, and this is our joint session as part of the mediation process. And I know we've all met, but maybe just, do a brief check-in, just as a way of arriving. Everybody's really busy and we're coming in from other obligations, so, take a couple deep breaths and maybe just how are you feeling today, just in this moment, coming into this conversation. I know I'm Elvia again, just to remind you of my name, and I'm feeling grounded today. How about you, David?
Yeah, I'm David, and I'm feeling hopeful today.
Right. All right.
So I'm Laura, and I think actually I'm feeling a little bit stressed. I have a lot going on at work, and it's just been on my mind.
It's on your mind, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you for making the time to, in the midst of all that, to be here. What about you, Ariana?
I'm Ariana, and I'm really curious and a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for being here and being willing to do this. We know it's not easy, and we covered a lot during our individual meetings, so we're not going to go into great detail about all that, just a few reminders. You're familiar with the facility, so anytime you need a break for any reason, whether it's to use the facilities or just to get some fresh air, just let us know. We have a built-in break kind of in the middle of our session today, but if you need a break at any other time, let us know. We are scheduled to be here for a maximum of 3 hours, so I want to check in with you about any other time constraints that might have come up. You can commit to being here for that time? Okay. Doesn't mean we're going to lock the door and keep you in here if you're done before that, but we want to make sure we have that flexibility. And again, just want to acknowledge you for taking the time. We know this is a voluntary process and you're here in good faith to work through the issues that concern you, and we're here with you. So I am going to talk a little bit about what you can expect, how the meeting is going to flow today. I know we covered this at our individual meetings, but it's been a while, so we're going to start out with giving you each some uninterrupted time to talk about your concerns and what's important to you today. And in that first part, we're going to ask you just to talk to us. This may feel a little awkward, just to talk to us, the mediators, during that first part. And sometimes it feels like a long time when the other person's speaking, or we're going to try to balance it. Don't feel like you have to say everything you came to say in the first turn. We'll go back and forth until you feel you've had an opportunity to express your major concerns, right? And we'll be asking some questions to help us understand and to track the issues and concerns. And then that's, at the end of that section of the mediation, then we usually take a break, 10-15 minutes. We stay in here and talk amongst ourselves, and you're welcome to go outside and get some fresh air, use the facilities, get a snack. And after the break, we'll come back and we'll invite you to engage in some direct dialogue. So that'll be your opportunity to ask each other questions, clarify things that you've heard or anything that hasn't been brought up, talk about that. So that's kind of the direct dialogue. And then that usually leads to kind of doing a brief pause to see if there's any other issues that haven't been brought up, and then we move into talking about next steps and solutions and agreements and proposals, okay? Any questions about the flow of the meeting today? Okay, David?
Hi, I just wanted to remind you about the mediator's roles. I know we talked about this in the pre-mediation, but just a quick summary, and really our role is to help facilitate your communication and guide you through this process. And we are impartial. We're not, neither of us have any stake in this, and so we're going to be as neutral as we possibly can, and we really want to support your efforts, and in that we come to, and hopefully we come to the resolution side of this, the solutions come from you. We're not going to be, offering solutions or any kind of ruling. It's all about empowering you to come up with your own solutions that, you're more likely to follow. So, and that's really our role through this, and enforcing the ground rules as well. So, just so you feel safe and hopefully more comfortable to express your perspectives. Okay. Another part of our role, and we talked about the group agreements, also the ground rules, is to maintain confidentiality. And I'm just going to summarize really quickly because we both talked, we've talked with both of you about this, and that we tear up the notes. We don't speak to anyone outside of this mediation, and that we are respectful, and that's really kind of an asterisk by that one, because we want to stop you from interrupting if you feel like someone is misrepresenting your side, and so we want to make sure people feel that they're empowered to speak their own truth, and also to refrain from raising voices, calling names, and even non-verbally. So rolling of the eyes, these kinds of things, would really try to refrain from, and that will be our role again to enforce that. And try to be constructive. We're here to work together and cooperate to, come up with a resolution, and hopefully our efforts are in that same goal. And really, are there any ground rules that you would like to offer, or to include in the group agreements that will help you participate fully? Anything you would want to offer?
Not that I can think of. Not for.
Okay.
Nothing that you haven't already said.
Okay.
Okay. And
And we can all make the commitment to try to uphold those.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions before we get started with the content here? Okay.
No, thank you.
All right, great. So let's get started then. What we're going to do, as I said, is begin this first part of the mediation by hearing from each of you. Customarily, we start with the person who was referred to us. I think both of you were referred to us. And we're wondering, Lara, if you would be willing to start.
Sure.
And what we'd like to do is to have you tell us, talk about your experience of the conflict and describe what the main issues are that you want to discuss in mediation.
So I think Ariana and I have been roommates now for a handful of months, and the thing that's become very clear to me in that time is we live differently. And I'd say for me, the main thing that has been challenging is I like to come home to a space that is organized and clean, and things are put where they need to be put, and that's not necessarily maybe the way Ariana lives, and it's just become increasingly frustrating to come home every day to a mess. And I think I've tried to address the issue with her, and it seemed very unimportant to her, or maybe I was bothering her with my requests. I'm not sure what else I can say, but that's what, like, where I landed today is just feeling frustrated and worn out by not having good communication around why it's important to keep the house clean and organized.
Okay. So, yeah.
So how did you try to address the issue?
So at first, I would ask her. For example, it started one time with the dishes being in the sink. I think I waited at least a day, and then I asked if, can you take care of the dishes in the sink? Oh, I'll get to it, was the response. And then I think it was a full another day before anything happened. And then there was a couple of incidences like that where I would ask, hey, can you, put your stuff away, because there's nowhere for me to sit or to put my stuff. And again, it was always, I'll get to it. And never getting to it, or getting to it in an amount of time, which to me felt long, like a whole nother day. And yeah, and lately it's just been, I don't even bother to talk to her directly because I felt like it wasn't important to her. And so then I would just send her a text message. Hey, can you don't forget about this, or did you know you still have dishes in the sink, or stuff like that.
Okay. So it sounds like for you, it's really important to come home to a clean, organized space. You kind of started by saying that you live differently. You mean you have different
Habits, maybe?
styles of
Being in a space? I don't know. Like if I come home, I take my jacket off, I hang it up and put it away.
Okay.
Right? I make a meal. After I finish, I wash everything and put it away, right?
Okay.
And that doesn't seem to be Ariana's practice.
That's what you meant by living differently.
Yeah, I
like
think
different
so.
habits. of
Yes.
How you put your stuff away, what
Yeah.
you need, and that for you, it's important to have kind of an organized, fairly clean space when you come home.
Yes.
That provides some sense of ease and home. For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also say you're feeling frustrated about this, and how is that affecting your life? That
I think-
feeling of frustration.
It feels like it just kind of builds on itself. So every time now when I come home, I'm almost expecting to find a mess.
Mm.
And that just doesn't feel very nice because my days are long, and when I come home, I don't want to be anticipating, now what? Now what is it going to look like?
Okay.
What am I going to need to put away, or should I just clean this? And so I think it's just like, it's added another layer of stress where I didn't want another layer of stress.
Mhm.
It's taken away that feeling of coming home to a place where I can relax. It's almost like done the opposite.
Right. Yeah. No one wants another layer of stress
No.
when they're coming home. Because
No.
okay.
And it sounds like the communication around it, that you have asked Ariana to put things away, and it sounds like that's causing some tension as well, because you said when you get back is I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't meet your needs for having it done in a timely manner.
Right. It feels
Okay.
very like she just blows it off. I'm just bothering her and she just blows it off.
So you feel like you're bothering her and you don't feel heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's good.
How long have
Okay.
you felt frustrated about this?
Oof. I mean, probably at least a couple months.
Months. Okay.
Is there anything you want to add right now? I'm feeling like maybe we'll hear from Ariana and then come back to you. Is
Sure.
there anything else? Is that okay?
I think that's fine.
Okay. So, Ariana, wait, I'm sorry, I'm just finishing my note here.
Excuse me.
We'd like to hear from you about what your experience of the conflict is and what are the main concerns you have.
Yeah, sure. I don't know why Laura just didn't talk to me about this. Like, I was really surprised to hear from the property management company that we were being referred to mediation. Yeah, I'm kind of baffled about that. And
You're baffled about the fact that she didn't talk to you directly and instead went to the manager?
yeah.
Is that what- okay.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, to me it felt like that escalated everything. It was not necessary. It was also, honestly, it was kind of embarrassing,
Mm.
you know? yeah, it feels like she just assumes I'm not gonna do anything differently, and really, I don't feel like I got the chance to even try to make a change.
Okay.
It just escalated so quickly, and I'm really surprised at like how resentful she seems. And then, you know, it's not comfortable at home. I feel like I'm gonna be in trouble all the time, I'm walking on eggshells. You know, I didn't realize it was such a problem until I got the call from the property manager. And I just, like, I realized, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do that's gonna upset her. You know, I come home sometimes and I find my things that I left in other rooms on my bed, which, you know, is
How
not.
does that feel?
It feels bad. Like I feel kind of bad saying it, but it's really passive aggressive, and also I don't like that she just went in my room. Like I don't go in her room without permission, and so it feels almost childish to just dump my stuff on my bed instead of just talk to me about it directly. And you know, I hear her talk about wanting to come home to a clean house, and it's not like the house is a pigsty. You know, to me it just seems normal. This is like how I grew up. You know, it's just a normal lived-in house. It's not, you know, pigsty or filthy. It's just things are not everything is put away. And it just doesn't seem realistic to me to do dishes every day. Like I'm gone all day. I'm up early. You know, I get back late, and I'm not there sometimes. So sometimes I just don't have time. You know.
Tell us more about the feelings around you finding there are things on the bed in that situation.
Yeah.
Just
Well, the first time I was really surprised. Like I was shocked because I just haven't had that experience before, and yeah, and then also I felt I was kind of mad. Yeah,
You were
I just-
shocked and surprised?
Yeah, I was
you said?
shocked and surprised and kind of angry or irritated. Like it seemed really unnecessary and so indirect. You know, again, I don't know why she didn't talk to me about it. And then when I try to talk to her about it, she just kind of shuts down and doesn't have the conversation. So yeah, so when I saw that, I was really surprised, and it's happened a couple of times. And, you know, I don't like it. I don't think she'd like it if I did that. Yeah.
So you were surprised and shocked. You said shocked and surprised, and you felt it was unnecessary.
Mhm.
Your expectation was that she would talk to you about
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that's bothering her.
Yeah.
And that sounds like it was disappointing for you that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
actually, yeah, disappointing. Yeah, I think I was disappointed. May not have thought that at the time, but yeah, it was just like, oh, that's a huge bummer. Like, wow, I thought we could just have a conversation, and then I come in and I see all this stuff on my bed. Yeah.
Yeah, I also heard that you were surprised and also angry about the, what you felt was an escalation by going to the manager rather than to come and talk to you, that was embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
That somebody else had to know about what was going on in your household.
Yeah, it almost felt like, you know, like when your brother or sister goes and like tattles on you to your parents and then they come and talk to you instead of just, I mean, it's different when you're kids, right? But it just felt like I was going to be in trouble, and
Okay.
that's difficult.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're feeling the tension, you know, that the communication is tense or
Yeah.
minimal at
Yes.
this point. Did I hear
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
correctly?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also want to remind both everybody, you know, it's helpful when you talk from your own perspective, right? So, and describing something as childish or passive aggressive, you know, we're reminding you to talk about how it impacts you.
Okay.
And that's really helpful. Ariana, what else, what are the other concerns or main issues that you want to make sure we talk about today?
Yeah, one of the things that just came up when you were talking about that, yeah, and I'm sorry for saying, passive aggressive. I think I felt confused a lot about what was happening.
Okay.
Like I really didn't understand, and there was a lot of confusion, both about, what was happening and why. I think I would like better communication so that we can talk about things when they come up. Yeah, and I just feel like I don't understand. And,
Okay.
yeah.
So longing for some understanding and
Yeah.
wanting there to be better communication.
Yeah.
So that there's kind of an openness.
Yeah, so like if something happens, we can talk about it and deal with it ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course, figure out a way that, we can live together and continue staying in the lease without this continuing to be a problem.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, in your words, you said surprised, you felt surprised and baffled, I think is even what you said, and that the escalation was embarrassing and unnecessary in your mind, and that you've been having to walk around on eggshells and haven't been comfortable in your own place, and but you also feel like it's not realistic to do the dishes every day because you're busy.
Right.
And you'd really like better communication.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Well, let's hear from Ariana again. I'm sorry, Laura. Laura, what else is important to you that we talk about today?
I guess maybe just some more awareness around how the differences that we have impact each other.
Okay.
That I have certain expectations that maybe look different for Ariana, and I don't know, is there a way that we can sort that out? Maybe.
Okay.
That would be one thing. And then, I feel like I've tried to communicate, and I feel like that the feeling of being brushed off really made me think that this wasn't important to her, and that I'm not going to keep trying if I'm just getting dismissed. And so, what more do you want from me if I've tried and you haven't taken anything of what I've said seriously?
We'll give you a chance to talk directly with one another,
Okay.
so if you could direct your
Sorry.
comments to us
Um,
now. Yeah.
I don't know how to make that communication better when the feeling I'm getting is that what I'm trying to address does not seem important. So I
Okay.
don't know where to go with that.
So I'm hearing some frustration about, I'm trying to communicate, but not feeling heard or understood.
Yeah, or just brushed off, like, don't
Feeling-
bother me with this.
Okay.
And, yeah, and then I don't know where we can go from there. If this isn't important enough to her to be discussed, then I'm not sure how to improve the communication.
So you're describing as something not feeling important to her. What does that feel like for you? I mean,
It feels dismissive that,
dismissive.
I guess, maybe again, it's expectations that, like I said before, when I cook food, afterwards, it makes sense to me to clean up the kitchen, right? And I guess if that doesn't make sense to her, then, I don't know, how can we find a middle ground there? I'm not sure. Or does she even realize that that's how it feels to me? That it feels like it's not important and she doesn't care, and is that the impact she's trying to have? I don't know.
So you're feeling ignored, dismissed,
Yeah.
not taken seriously. You have a need for some consideration.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small space. I mean,
Right.
I think we should be considerate.
Yeah.
So sometimes let me ask this. Describe, if you would, you're describing bits and pieces of a home that might feel, that a home that gives you ease and where you feel comfortable.
Mhm.
What are some key elements of that? What's a home like for you? What does it look like, sound like, that are, where you feel comfortable and at ease?
I think the easiest way to describe it for me is that things should be put where they go, right? So you come home, you kick off your shoes, don't just leave them there, like put them out of the way so that when someone comes home after you, we're not tripping over the stuff that you left.
Okay.
Also, when you come home, you're just dropping the things that you have wherever they fall, right? Oh, my bag is here, my stuff is here. No matter who else might be coming through that space, there seems like there's not a thought around putting things where they go. And then also, yeah, I like things clean, I do. And going into the kitchen thinking, oh, I'm gonna cook something, oh, the pot I was gonna use is dirty. Or, there's not, whatever I need may not be available because it's already been used and it hasn't been cleaned. And so
Okay.
now, if I wanna use it, I have to clean it. And I don't know, for me, what brings me joy or peace of mind at least is just walking into a space and feeling like stuff is clean and where it should be. And that just
Okay.
hasn't been my experience in the last few months.
So for you, a home that feels at ease and comfortable is where things are put away in their place. They're not left, wherever.
Yeah.
Kind of everything, what do they say? Everything has its place,
Yeah,
right?
something
Everything
like
in its place. And that when you walk into the kitchen, that it's clean enough so that you can just go in and cook rather than to have to clean up before you
Yeah,
cook, for
yeah.
example.
Yes.
So that kind of level of cleanliness, things are put away and clean.
Yeah.
So that they're ready for the next person to
Yeah.
use. Okay. Other elements of that, of the,
Not that I can think
Okay.
of. Those are the things that immediately come to mind because that
Okay.
seems to be the most consistent challenge.
yeah, and I was just gonna ask the same question before we move too far away of you, because I'm curious about, for you, what does a home that feels at ease and comfortable, what are some of the key elements of that?
Yeah, so, yeah, like where I can relax, like when I come home, I'm tired, I've been with little kids all day,
Mhm.
I was up early, and like, I'm tired mentally, physically, and I just wanna I'm carrying all this stuff, and, I just wanna get comfortable as soon as I can.
So
And,
comfort, yeah.
yeah, like physical comfort. I don't want to
Mhm.
feel like, I'm in a museum or I have to take off my shoes and put them exactly in a place. I just
Mhm.
want to be able to take off my jacket, take off my shoes, go change my clothes and get comfortable.
And relax.
And relax.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess a more relaxed atmosphere in the home,
What does that look like or sound like?
Yeah, if I'm cooking or I'm making a meal or I eat, I want to enjoy it and then relax a bit afterwards. I don't want to just immediately jump up and have to do another task all day. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm running around after kids.
Mhm.
I want to be able to just have some time to just sit and relax, whatever it is,
Just some downtime.
Yeah,
where you're
exactly.
not doing anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
downtime.
Mhm.
And not so rule, I guess I don't like a lot of rules or, in the house.
Okay.
And where, in my own place.
Sure.
When I work for somebody else, I follow their rules. But in my house, I would
Okay.
it feels comfortable to be able to relax.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you're describing what you grew up with. I think you
Yeah.
said before, this is
Yeah.
what I grew up with, it feels comfortable.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
feels safe, it feels relaxed. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So earlier you said it wasn't realistic to clean
Mm.
the kitchen or wash dishes every day. What does
Yeah.
realistic look
I
like to
I
you?
don't know, every couple of days, or when you have to fill the dishwasher, or if you have a dishwasher, or, do them by hand, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem realistic to me to do dishes every single day. That's,
Mhm.
I didn't grow up that way. I know everybody does things differently, but that just doesn't seem normal to me.
It doesn't seem normal to your lifestyle.
To my, right,
You've grown up with.
in my experience.
What's
yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I do it I do it in my job, but that's because it's a job, right? It's different in my own home. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
environment, honestly,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Is there anything either of you want to add, a main topic that hasn't been, that you haven't had a chance to talk about yet? And we'll come right back to you in a minute.
No, I mean, we talked about, and I mentioned, I'd like to figure out a way to communicate better. I would like, about her putting stuff on my bed, like I would like that to stop. I mean, we mentioned that, but I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you. What about for you, Laura? What else is on your mind that we haven't heard yet from you?
I think what's really sticking on my mind is expectations. And that, if you were to come home and you're tired and you just want to cook something and yet you can't because everything you were going to use is dirty, now you have to clean it before, how that feels. And just, I get that, we grow up differently, we have different habits, but just, recognizing how maybe some of our habits impact others. And is there a possibility to be willing or open to evolving a habit, given the context that you're in? But again, maybe that goes back to expectations.
Yeah, it might, and I'm wondering if you would be willing to say a little bit more about what the impact of what you mentioned about going into the kitchen, wanting to cook, and everything you need to use is dirty.
Yeah.
How does that affect you?
It's really irritating. I mean, my days are long too, and when I come home, oftentimes I'm just, I want to eat something and go to bed, and it adds an extra layer of effort and time to my day when first I have to clean up after someone else before I can, do what I need to do. So it's irritating, and again, going back to what I said earlier about when I feel like I have tried to bring it up, feeling dismissed, that I don't know how to feel confident in having communication if the times that I've tried I have felt dismissed.
Right, so you've made an attempt to communicate about it and just give the response that you're getting.
Yeah.
I'm also hearing that, you also need some ease and some comfort. You want to be able to come home and also relax.
Yeah.
And feel comfortable and not feel like you have to clean the kitchen before you cook your meal.
Yeah.
Because you're tired as well.
Yes.
And busy. It sounds like both of you have full lives, a lot of different obligations. And so that's important to you as well, is to have a home where you can feel at ease and comfortable. Okay.
Laura, I just wanted to know a little bit more about the situation with the property manager and how that unfolded.
So I think after 2 or 3 months of just trying to ask Ariana to do what I thought were little things, like clean the dishes, put your stuff away, and not getting any real response or change in behavior, I thought, I'm not sure what else to do here, and I don't know how to keep living in this environment because it doesn't feel nice. And it is adding a layer of stress that I don't feel like I need. And so that was my thought, was to go to the property manager. And when I first talked to him, I was just, it was almost like a venting session almost. And then he kind of took it in a different direction. It surprised me. And maybe he has seen this before, I don't know. And that he had brought up, do you know what mediation is? And I wasn't exactly sure, but yeah, it kind of brought it to, all of a sudden, he had an idea that I was like, okay, if that's what we do, I don't know. Is that what happens when people don't get along in a living space? I have no idea. And so that's what he suggested, and I just thought, well, if that's what we do, that's what we do. And so here we are.
Can you say more about the venting session? What do you mean there?
I'm not getting the response that I was hoping for when I had asked Ariana to do the things that I mentioned. And it feels like I just don't know where else to go. And so when I was sharing that with the property manager, he was asking, well, what's going on? And I just told him, here's what's been happening. And it was just that. It was just me sharing, and then he all of a sudden had an idea. Maybe he had that idea all along, I don't know, but all of a sudden he was like, I think you should try mediation. And I was like, I'm not even sure what that is, but okay. And we just kind of went from there. But it started with me just kind of complaining about what has been going on.
And it sounds like it came out of frustration, that you weren't feeling heard.
Yeah.
You didn't know what else to do, you didn't feel comfortable in your home.
Right.
And you went to the manager to ask for advice or
Kind of.
something about what do people do in these
Yes,
situations?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's where the idea of the referral to mediation came in.
Yeah, he thought of it. Maybe he's done this with you all before, I don't know.
We have, yeah, people often refer cases to
Yeah,
us.
right.
Right. And yeah, it sounds like you were you were holding on to frustration for a long period of time too,
Right.
and that led to the venting. So, okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to share regarding your side of this?
I don't think so.
Okay. You know, you mentioned that you feel really frustrated for a long period of time, and that it's taken a lot of energy, and that you feel like, you know, it'd be nice in the shared spaces where you don't want, you know, people put their things away so you don't trip over shoes, et cetera, and have the kitchen more, you know, clean when you want to use it. It's, you know, there's a frustration there as well when it's not clean, and you feel brushed off, and you felt like, you know, when you brushed off, you had to speak to, or you felt that was the right thing to do, is to speak to the property manager, and you got to vent to the person. And
Well, after several times.
After
of
several
being
times,
brushed off,
okay.
not just once. And it was it was at least 3 times that I can think of that I felt like brushed off.
Right.
And that's where I thought, I need to figure out some other way.
okay, after several times.
Mhm.
All right. Is there anything else that we're not
I don't think so.
catching? Okay.
Well, I'm hearing you also say that you want to make this work, because I thought
Yeah.
having to move somewhere is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And that
Certainly.
you're interested in talking through and seeing if there's a way to
Absolutely.
minimize the tension and
I think
work
so.
through it.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely. And I feel like there doesn't need to be major changes, but maybe some minor shifts, or maybe, like I've said, thinking about what we can expect from each other might help with, you know, just knowing what I'm walking into.
Right.
Maybe making some of that more clear.
Okay, great. Yeah. Marietta, is there anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, I think, you know, I'm having this feeling like it seems like there's all these rules about our
Mhm.
living space, and they're not my rules. You know, like I'm sort of feeling like there's this expectation that I follow Laura's rules. And, and like that, I don't know why those are the rules, like it seems like there's this assumption that that's the right way, and somehow like I'm not doing that, and therefore, you know, I'm causing this conflict. Like, you know, and I tried to talk to her about it before, but she just shuts down. Like I've tried 2 or 3 times to talk to her about it, and she just shuts down and doesn't want to engage. So I'm confused.
Would you be willing to say a little bit more about what happens when you try to talk with Laura in the past?
Yeah, she basically just shuts down, and it seems like she doesn't want to talk about it at all.
So she walks away?
She walks
or
away, she doesn't
do-
answer me.
Okay.
Yeah, she says, I don't want to talk about it, or just
Okay.
walks away. So I'm confused
Yeah.
by that. And yeah, I mean, you asked me what it would feel like to be comfortable in my home. You know, and as I'm sitting here hearing all of this, I'm realizing like I don't want to be controlled by somebody else, particularly in my own home.
Yeah.
So
that sense of feeling at ease in your home
Yeah.
includes having the freedom to decide your own rules or how
exactly,
you want to
yeah,
live.
yeah. And I mean, I realize we live together,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like these are things we could decide together and not like this expectation that I do the dishes every day and put things away immediately is like, why is that the right way?
Oh, okay.
Why
So
is
you're
that the
feeling like
standard?
You're being imposed, certain rules are imposed on you?
Yeah, and then like to hear, like I'm so messy or I'm a slob or why can't I do this or that, like that's hurtful for me. And, you know, as you mentioned before, like I feel judged.
You feel judged?
Yeah, and then I get angry and, you know, irritated and,
It's
yeah.
difficult to feel judged.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. And then you know, to be honest, you know, when she just puts stuff on my bed, I actually get really angry in that moment. Like I feel really, really angry and irritated. And I just think it's disrespectful. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, I'd rather have a
Where your personal
conversation.
belongings are left somewhere and then you find them on top of your bed.
Yeah.
That feels very disrespectful.
Disrespectful and invasive of my space.
Invasive, yeah.
Yeah.
What conversations have you had around rules?
That's a good question. I guess we really didn't talk much about that. You know, I mean, now in retrospect, that would have been a very good idea. But I don't really remember us talking about rules very much.
So house rules or expectations, as you call them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think expectations weren't clear. For maybe, well, certainly for me, I can't speak for her, but you know, this whole thing was really surprising for me about just how, like, what a big reaction she's had and like where we are now.
Well, it also sounds like you're hearing some information maybe for the first time about your differences in lifestyles.
Yeah.
And, you know, your definition of what a comfortable,
Right.
tension-free home feels like. So that's slightly different, yeah.
Yeah, even I think like, it sounds like we have different definitions of clean, you know?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to do a brief summary?
Sure, yeah. Is there anything else either of you want to share at this point? About
I would like to do a brief summary of what we've heard so far, and then if there's anything else you want to add, and then we'll take a little break.
Okay.
Give you a chance to stretch a little bit, and we'll come back and continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
a minute?
Will you start?
I can start.
I think you were.
Sure.
I think you were starting that.
Yeah, let's see,
We
well,
kind of have been summarizing all along, we want to make sure we're capturing kind of the major issues.
and we just want to make sure that,
Yeah.
you know, we're demonstrating that we're listening and we're hitting on, you know, making sure that you know that we're listening to the important parts of what you're saying. And so I can start with Ariana. You mentioned that you were baffled, you were surprised that it escalated so quickly, and embarrassed that the property manager had to be involved, and that you felt like you know, you would like to have more of a conversation about the situation, and that it made you angry that you had come home and saw your clothes and various things on your bed, and you also feel like it's not realistic to clean, you know, the kitchen every day, do the dishes every day, and that you like better communication overall, and clearer expectations is what's coming out as well. And yeah, that there's been a lot of indirect communication, and maybe that could be a bit more, you know, more direct. Anything else that you're missing?
No, I think you covered it, yeah.
All right. And then Laura, you first of all said that you live differently, and that you know, you feel irritated, dismissed, frustrated, specifically when you try to address the issue of, you know, the kitchen, the cleanliness of the house, and you feel like you're shut down, that it's not important to Ariana, and that, you know, it's really, you've been frustrated for a while now, and that frustration has led you to numerous times where you felt shut down, led you to talk to the property manager, and that you just have felt brushed off, I think is the word you used quite a bit, and that you would like to have more of a conversation about expectations, and that's, is there anything else that we're missing or that you'd like to tell us?
Not that I can think of. I think you've covered it well.
I just want to touch on a couple of commonalities that I'm hearing, that you're both really busy, you have full lives, and you both really value coming home to a place where you can relax and feel at ease and where there's no tension. And that's currently not the case, so it's not meeting either of your needs in this home. And that you're also not looking forward to the prospect of having to move and go on that whole, you know, that's a lot of energy and time. So I'm hearing commitment on both of you to look for a way to work through this, and so that you both can continue living together and come to some understanding about expectations or house rules, something around that. Okay, great.
Sounds right.
Well, thank you so much. Let's take a 10-minute break. So we're going to ask you to step outside, and David and I are going to stay here and check in with each other for a few minutes.
Yes.
And then we'll call you in as soon as we're ready.
And I also want to thank you for being, you know, seem like you're so respectful to each other,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you following the ground rules.